her iPhone for that next time.
We ask
Maybe.
her really nicely.
I think you can better read from that.
Okay, I think we're there.
Yeah, we are live. YouTube tells me one viewer is there, which is me, but Eleanor is also there, so that's strange. That's
Yeah,
YouTube.
the viewer count is not very reliable.
Accurate.
You're happy about that there, KK? You look pretty happy. Yeah.
But it's a
Did you
cute
get paid?
picture of Cecil training the KK and KK in heaven.
He's enjoying that.
He has a cool feather too.
What are you guys doing? Mhm. Yeah, he seems to have a much better attitude today since I threw him some cardboard to chew on. He was just sitting at the bottom of his cage, sitting on toys. So maybe I'll give him something he can nest with and see what happens. He does look a lot more active today and happier, don't you, boy? Mhm.
Oh, that's good. I like the Cecil to be happy.
That are great news.
Well, when I had paper in there that he could play with, he was getting under it and then just sitting and doing nothing. So that's why I took it out. But the cardboard he has to tear up. He can't get under it really.
Yeah, it keeps him busy.
He just needs to be out all the time, this one, but that's not possible. So I see. So he's definitely happier today.
So our first
He's
chatter arrived.
behaving.
It's Rosebud Atkins. So hello and welcome.
Hello.
Hi, hi, Rosebud. Yeah, yeah. My shirt today is the original founding fathers. And there's Crazy Horse on here, and Geronimo, and Chief Joseph, and Sitting Bull,
Mm-hmm.
and Red Cloud. So now that I've taught Lorelai not to eat my shirts if they have printing on them, I can wear a printed shirt in here. She used to be just, you couldn't stop her. You turn around, next thing you know, you have big holes in your shirts if there was any kind of writing on them.
Oh, so she likes the print and not just chewing the fabric.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, she'll chew the fabric if it's down on my side, and she'll get down here and chew this kind of thing. So I got a bunch of shirts that all torn out, but she used to go right for anything written on the shirt. So
What a funny girl.
So Falcons is here. Hello, Falcons.
Hello.
hello.
And who is
This
that?
that's lovely Lucy Pretty Bird.
Lovely
Lovely
Lucy
Lucy.
Pretty Bird.
And we had Jazz with us, the back of Jazz there, and Mander.
Mander.
Manda,
Mander is here.
yay.
Big yay for Mander.
Go
Smash
for
the heart
Amanda.
button or the like button.
And
We're happy about both.
Sugar Bird.
The lovely sugar bird.
Today we're going to talk about environmental changes. I put that up as a title. So, the environment that they're in makes a big difference. So, with Bob, when he's outside in the aviary, I don't have any trouble with him. In here, I got to bring him in by himself. I finally figured out how to rotate 3 birds that way. Pause, Pippa, and Bob. Pippa can be in with some birds. She's okay with Sugar and Jasmine and Lucy. Everybody else, it's a little touchy. Wasn't always that way when Peaches was around. Peaches kept everything out of control, but Coco was that
Yeah,
way too. Coco was that way too.
yeah,
Although
Peach and
Coco,
Coco were good influences.
yes, they were. They were the right thing for the environment, that's for sure. And a
Oh,
pleasure to be
Rosebud.
around as well.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Rosebud says that she's packed up some cones for the kids, so she'll send them and keep the little chewers busy for a day or two. So that's some good environmental stimulation. Something to do. So thank you, Rosebud.
Thank you. Yeah, that'll be great especially for Mander, because he sees a pine cone, he goes nuts. And Lucy likes to chew them too. She takes the small ones and she chews the ends off of them. So it's about a half a pine cone when she's done, and then I give those to Mander, and he turns them into dust. So there's a chain, at least between those two. Although they all see who won't do it. Lorelai won't touch them. She only likes to play with finger traps and soft chew toys. She's odd. Once in a while, she chews wood, but it's not that common. She prefer to chew at your clothing, actually. Snowball chews them. You might sit there a day before he decides to do it, but once he starts working them, they're gone pretty fast. Yeah, I was talking to someone yesterday who we have a phone number that it's kind of odd how it's set up, but we have a phone number in Nevada. I got a call from somebody in Arizona that had never even watched our videos. We were recommended to them by an exotic vet who, it's a real long story, but she's got an African gray that's just tearing itself apart. And she tried to get the vet in Arizona, who's not an avian vet, she didn't know it wasn't an avian vet. Finally the vet admitted that she was only exotics, but trying to get Hal Paradol because she heard something about it, and the vet goes, "Oh, that's old school." Yeah, right. That's just
Because
exactly
it
opposite is
works.
what. Well, it's not old school. It's been around only for about, we're talking 12, 15 years. Definitely not old school. What they used to do is test the birds to see if they had some kind of metal toxicity, because they thought it was somehow related to that. Jenkins never thought that, but that was the community thought it. And then they thought it was all about changing the environment. Well, it's important to change the environment. That helps a little bit, but without the Haldol, or if we could find something else, that would do it, uh, you're still going to get the same behavior. There's temporary ways to abate it. If you take a bird out of its environment and take it, like Jenkins said, that when he gets a bird in who's got feather destructive behavior, he generally doesn't have to give them Haldol. Until they get home, they have to go back on it because the environment's so different. They don't chew themselves. It's only with severe mutilators that he would continue to give the medicine just in case. But so the change in environment, and that happens to people too. They get a bird, and that's one of the things that worries me about ours here. When all bodies fail, when this old body fails, there's going to be birds here, and there's going to be people going, "Well, I don't see why we have to do this," And all I can tell those people is, when I die, if there's any way to come back and torture you, I'll do it if you don't give them the medicine.
Yeah, because Miss
Especially
Siggy
this
would not last very long.
couple of days, maybe. Maybe. I've got, horrifying pictures. I didn't take pictures when she was in the worst condition because I was too busy trying to, save her life. But when I had her cleaned up and the bleeding stopped, I took pictures, and you can see where the whole side of her body, this side right here, you can just see the open skin, and it's absolutely awful. And that was when I dropped her down to 0.17, and the next thing I knew, she was covered in blood. So we don't do that anymore. She never goes below 0.2. So,
And the thing is, she's a happy girl, it's not like she wants to hurt herself, but now that she has this behavior, she can't stop. It's like an addiction.
no, it is. It is an addiction, actually. It's the same kind of addiction like being addicted to heroin, because the pain causes the endorphins to flow. So they actually feel a lot better once they hurt themselves. And then when the anxiety comes back, they do it again. So it's just like the person putting the needle in their arm. It's not much different. And the same drug that they use for that kind of thing is what works for these guys, even though their endocrine system is different. I've heard lots of vets with all their different ideas. Oh, it's hormones and all that. Jenkins tested all that. He tried using deslorelin, on some birds to see if by cutting the hormones they stop plucking. No, for a couple of days. That's not. It's just an outside stimulus. It's not it doesn't treat the cause. It just affects the stimulus a bit. And something comes along that causes the anxiety again, and poof, there they go. Changes in the environment stimulate that tendency that's already there. And if you don't think changes in the environment are affected, let me put you in a room without any food for a couple of days, and I bet I can convince you to do almost anything to get the food, right? I mean, just that one environmental change. I don't have any food anymore. And they call that torture, and to some extent it does work, even though you'll hear people say it doesn't. What are you doing up there? Hey, you jumped. What are you jumping for? Lovely Lucy. Pretty bird.
And Lucy's another one. She's got a bald chest because of fucking. Haven't you, Lucy?
Yeah. Something that could have been solved if I could have convinced the veterinary office that had her at the time to actually, spend $50 a year on her or less. They wouldn't do it. So I was helping this lady with the African gray to try to find a vet in Arizona that will dispense the haloperidol. I sent pictures of Murray when her feathers came back, and she had all those red feathers on her chest because they come back red if they've been gone for a while on an
That's
African
cute.
gray. Yeah, Murray was the cutest little thing. She had a tremendous attitude, but she was such a sweetie. It's different with the true parrots. You have to start low and work up. With the cockatoos, you can start with the dosage that's recommended for their weight level, and then adjust up or down as necessary. But with the true parrot, like an African gray, you start low and work up. Actually, especially with the macaws, because they tend to react to the drug a little too strongly. So you have to start really low and work up. What are you doing down there? What are you doing? Mm-hmm. How's the KK the bird?
Okay, bird.
Oh, such a good boy. Oh, you drop your toy? Was that intentional? No, you don't want it anymore. Okay. All right. All right. If you don't want your toy anymore, that's understandable. So you just drop it on me, huh? Is that it? Just drop a toy. You drop a toy on me and someone's chewing my finger. Okay.
So, what are some of the environmental stimuli that might start them off plucking? Do we know any of them?
I'll start them off of it. There really isn't anything that'll really stop them that way. It's an accessory to using the drug, but toys that simulate preening the body, that kind of thing. Anything they can chew on instead of themselves, in other words. With Cecil, that would be wood, because he prefers to chew wood, right, Cecil? With some, it would be like palm fronds or pieces of leather they can chew on. Um, they make toys that have a lot of little things they can grab a hold of. These guys like finger traps. They go pretty fast, but they like them. So those are some of the things you could use to help mitigate the situation. When they get the urge to chew, instead of trying to chew whatever part of their body they go after, they don't always go after the same spot. Some birds go after the chest, some go after the wing, some go after their feet. Kind of depends on where they started. So, but you're going to chew with the toy now. You're going to play with the toy. Yeah, wrong way, Corrigan. Here we go. Mander's just going to sit there. Mander.
Amanda is looking over, probably
So,
doing a good decision by that, not coming over to KK.
Amanda's making a good decision.
Mm.
We like that.
Oh, let's see.
so just a quick visual. Behavior is a function of the organism in its environment. So whenever you change the environment, that can affect the organism, and then the organism also works on its environment. So every time you
Oh, there it
walk
is.
into a
Finally on YouTube.
yeah, every time you enter a room, you're changing the environment. Every time you leave the room, you're changing the environment. Every time you do something the bird sees or hears, you're changing the environment. And then the way you react to the bird. So right, Mander?
And sometimes you don't even realize that you changed the environment.
Oh yeah. Well, that's like the lady who said, "I haven't changed anything. I haven't changed anything." And I've used this example before, but she had stacked some boxes in the corner, and that's what was setting the bird off. That's
And there was
boxes stuck.
another lady who dyed her hair.
Yeah, she dyed her hair. She was a brunette, and then she dyed her hair red. And couldn't understand why the bird didn't like it. She'd done that around Chloe. I don't know. There's certain forms of red that made her violent. So um,
Is the
be
Rumford
careful what.
baking soda red by any chance?
Yeah, exactly. That's the red she doesn't like to see or didn't like to see. So everything you do is going to impact the organism. So the birds in the room, and you're watching TV, you're not paying any attention, that is actually affecting the bird. So maybe it wants attention and you're not giving it. So maybe it'll start squawking, or it'll start pacing, or grabbing the bar and sliding back and forth on it. Stereotypic behavior. So giving it direct attention can affect the bird. If you can go over and give it a lot of attention and walk away, um, they may enjoy that attention, and then you take it away from them suddenly, and it can cause behavioral issues. Maybe they stop eating. or they just don't feel like eating after that, or they start doing other behaviors that eventually become a problem. So you try to get enough in there, in their environment to keep them stimulated. So you notice how, there's perches in here for them to sit on. They get used to certain spots. They like sitting there. There's my lap to sit on. Ropes are great. Anything you can use to get them up in the air where they kind of belong, simulate the outdoors. It would be great to have like widescreen TVs on every wall where you could show just make it look like you're actually outside. But we actually have an outside environment for that. It's just here we're now hitting the late. We're hitting the spring environment, which is like summer in most places, so we can't go outside. We can go out in the dark, but by then they're asleep, right, Lucy? Lovely Lucy, pretty bird. She likes that. I call her that. She'll jump up and down sometimes. Lovely Lucy, pretty bird. Yeah, and they're so intelligent. These guys have a large brain cavity and a large brain inside there, and on top of the size of it, they have specialized neurons that make ours look like they belong to a snail. Much more effective than our neurons. Smart guys. And they need to be busy. Some of them more busy than others. And stuff you in a room with Bob, give him nothing to do, and you'll find out how busy they need to be. So he will use you as his toy then, right, Mander?
If you leave Bob alone in a room, you'll have no room soon enough.
Pretty much. Pretty much. In the wild, they forage, they fly, they socialize, and they have all kinds of things that keep them busy. In Australia, they open trash cans, not just to get to the food, but it's fun. And they do it with well, I imagine it's fun. We can't know that, but it sure looks like it. They tag team to get the trash can open. One gets on one side and one gets in the other. They do all kinds of bizarre behaviors, we would say, but they keep themselves busy. We don't have those kind of things for them, so I try to give them the most that I can. And but still, no matter how much I give them, I'm not going to be able to fix the feather plucking problem, because that was instilled by the breeders. Breeders did that by not letting the parents raise the birds, and they didn't live in a large aviary. When I say large aviary, I know the word large doesn't mean as much, because I've had people tell me, "Oh, we've got a large cage to donate. Can you give me the dimensions?" "Oh, it's 2 by 2. That's large? No. Large cage these days, a large cage is about 4 foot by 3 foot by 6.5 tall. It's a large cage, but that's still not big enough for them. They need the wild. So all we can do to keep them from stimulating things like plucking, it can stimulate the plucking. It isn't the cause for it. It can be the cause for screaming and aggression, though. Because if they're trying to get your attention and you're ignoring them, they're going to start screaming. Some of them will, anyway. Or maybe it's just anxiety that's got them screaming. And then if you don't give them much attention, but you try to reach your hand in there to change the food in the cage or the water, that can cause all kinds of issues as well. Got it. Phone's going weird. I'm yelling at the phone.
So when phone going weird, I can greet some more chatters. So we have Kami Schmidt joining us. So hello. And Jocelyn Driggle is here. So welcome both to you. Good to see you.
Hello.
And Jocelyn is just leaving the vet, because I think Cinnamon had a upset tummy, I think.
Yeah, it didn't have the world's best looking poop. Let's put it that way. It
Mhm.
was getting better it was better today, but it's still needed to be looked at. So
So we hope Cinnamon is doing well.
yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing about it. She's on Telegram too, so I'm able to get that information pretty quickly. So Telegram's the
Great.
easiest way to reach me. Discord would be next, I think, and then Patreon as far as easy to reach. I get notified. Patreon is a
Well, I
great
have
service,
a look
but
on Discord, so if there's something, I usually would tell you if you don't
yeah,
respond.
good, good. It's better. The only thing I don't like about Discord is the 2,000 character limit. So on Telegram, I could post a long article on. In order to do that on Discord, I have to install a JavaScript in Drafts that I can, which is another app, so that I can put something into Drafts. It'll break it into 2,000 word chunks and then post them one by one. I'll set that up, but I don't have to write the JavaScript. I can just say ChatGPT 4 and open it and go write a JavaScript to do this, and it'll do it. But otherwise, it's good. I mean, it's a good platform.
No
These,
advertising.
huh?
I said no
No,
advertising like
no,
on Facebook, which you have watch advertisements before reading comments now, as you said.
yeah. Well, on
That's
top of
great.
that, anybody who has a platform on there has to pay those people in order to talk to their own supporters. That is stupid, and I agree with Sam Harris on that. He told them where they could stick their service and jumped off the platform, which is basically, I didn't say anything. I just took us off. So. And Sam did it in a polite way, saying, "This is unacceptable. These are my followers, not yours, and I'm not paying you to talk to them." So he started his own platform. Must be nice to have that kind of money, huh? What are you doing, Cecil? Cecil. Cecil. Cecil hug.
Getting
Mm.
cuddly.
I just see that
Cecil
the
hug.
invitation link to Discord might be invalid. So if you want to join and have problems, just tell us in chat or in the comments so we can fix that if that becomes a problem.
Yeah, I just have to go out to Linktree and change it if there's a problem. But all of the links to us are available on a service called Linktree. So
Yeah, and I posted the
just
link
makes
already.
it just makes it just makes it easier, one place for all those things instead of looking through a long list underneath a signature or something. So you have to provide things for them to keep their mental health going. So toys and puzzles and playing with them is only going to do so much. And playing with them is more important than anything else. And then you got to be careful how you do that, because if you're playing with a bird, if you're petting it down the back and stuff, you could end up with a lot more problems than you want to face. But you can play with them, right, Cecil? Right, Cecil? Is that a from you?
Mhm. Is
It's
Cecil helping
great
with
that
the lecture about environment today? At KK.
it's great that Zoom has a place to put notes. It's stupid though when you turn the phone, if you angle the phone, then your notes disappear and you have to open it again. That's I think I need to comment that that's dumb and see if they can fix it. So I tried to create an environment in here where they can climb, fly if they want to. Keep busy, although you don't see much of that when we're doing our videos. You don't see much of the keep busy thing.
I'm busy napping.
Because yeah, they're busy napping until we're done, and then they all start. Mander's awake over there. He's paying attention, but he's just sitting. with his twisted pelvis, that's not unexpected, but he looks pretty happy. He's got his eyes bright. You guys, I don't know about you two. You guys are kind of odd. Cute, but odd. Yeah. Hey, that. Don't go trying to eat that. You don't need my earbuds. My cheap $18 earbuds. Now, the problem is if they don't fly, they don't get enough exercise. So getting them an area where they can fly, you need about a 20-foot run. And I could probably build something like that along the side of the house at some point. Put some chicken wire up. That's all I'd really need. Make a chicken wire dome so I have a flight area. At some point, I'm going to need to do that. There's a fence there already, so I have something to build on. And without the social interaction, though, you can have birds that totally turn inside out. I know one lady, she had a friend of mine had a kayik, and she was gone for a week. And when she came back, it was missing almost all of its feathers from the neck down.
Oh,
She
that's
just
terrible.
left for a week. What we call a vac. She was actually doing work, but it was part of her job. But for for us, it could be a vacation. For them, it can be hell. So, right, baby, right? Well, this one will call to me at night too, just to have me come over and talk to him in his cage, which I do because he gets upset. Sometimes he does it when he wants more toys. He's a wood chipper. When he starts chewing wood, there's no stopping him. It just flies everywhere. Aren't you? You're a big wood chipper, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. So, they take different kinds of toys. You have to offer a variety of toys and find out what they like. And even then, you still need to change it around because they'll get bored with them. I mean, there was actually a point where Mander got bored of pine cones for a couple of days, only a couple of days. And then he went back to them. So I threw him some cardboard for a while. Then I gave him the pine cones. And they were gone. So there's issues with toys too. The the hard plastics that are difficult to break are probably the safest of the plastic toys. But like this guy likes to punch holes in some of the toys I buy, which are the softer plastics. But you have to be careful because sometimes they actually will swallow it. So not a good thing. So you have to be careful what you get for them. The hard plastics that break easy are the worst. So you don't want anything, something that breaks with sharp edges isn't good. The soft ones, at least they have soft edges. So I go for the ultra hard beads. They really can't break. And the soft toys that wouldn't be a problem even if they did ingest it. So little pieces of it. And it helps if you've got more than one bird to just rotate toys from cage to cage. As long as you don't have a disease problem, that works just fine. So they get bored with one, I'll rotate toys, take a toy out of one cage and move it into another. And you're not going to eat my shirt, are you? Don't eat the shirt. Don't eat the shirt. Don't eat the shirt. Oh, we don't eat the shirt. You can eat my finger instead, okay? How's that? It's starting to look like you were going to munch on my shirt. Yeah, it was. So if you have 3 or 4 toys, what you can do, if you have one bird, is put a toy in one day, the next day rotate it. Now, with some of the true parrots, like Amazons, when you put a new toy in there, you get the run away, run away, uh-oh, what's going on here? Okay, what have you done? I can't see what I'm doing now. Okay, I lost it. I did. So if you've got an Amazon, once they're used to several toys, then you can rotate them on a basis so that they don't have the same toy in there every day. Or even, yeah, one bird, you can do that during the day, just one toy in the morning, one toy towards the evening, that kind of thing. So they don't get bored. And then you can take some things, you can take something like they like almonds, you can put an almond inside of paper and crinkle it up and show them so they know that the almond is inside the paper. They're not stupid, so they'll figure it out. Toss it in their cage and have them dig for the almond. They've got to learn to adjust to the fact that it may drop into the bottom of their cage where they can't reach it though. So they're smart. They eventually figure that out. They become careful on how they open it, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, what is that boy doing? You're gonna eat my finger? You're gonna eat my finger? And you guys it. I'm getting hugged and I'm getting chewed on. You gonna chew on me? You gonna chew on me? Ah, ah. Yep. Yes, you are a good bird.
KK, good bird.
Yes, you are a good bird. You're a good boy. Yes, you are a good boy. There is, I can put a link up somewhere, but I haven't thought about that. But there's 2 volumes of something called the Parrot Enrichment and Activity Book that the same lady who wrote the clicker training book has put up for free, and it's got pictures, and not just illustrations, but pictures of all different kinds of toys that you can make. It's quite helpful. So one idea is you can get it from those 2 volumes. They are available for free out there. Don't buy them. That's the thing she has is there. You can circulate them for free, but you can print them up if you want, but you can't sell them. So she just gave those freely to the community, and there's a lot of work that went into those books. It's not like they're they're definitely the kind of quality that you would expect to be printed, right? We actually had a volunteer once who worked at a copy place, and they made a whole bunch of color copies of those, and we were able to give them out as like prizes and stuff. Can't sell them, but we could use them as prizes. Yeah. What? What? Well, tell everybody. What do you want to say? Well, tell them. What do you want to say? KK Bird.
Teach us your wisdom, KK.
He's lived in the desert and in close to the Arctic, so he's got a lot of wisdom, especially about the weather, right? Yeah. What a good boy. A good boy. Yes, all right. He's just preening up there, aren't you? You're preening now.
And we should mention that Calvin made it. So hello, Calvin. Nice to see you.
Hey, hey.
Hello, Calvin.
Don has a white scarf.
The feather boa.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
So we can talk again about the prejudice that these umbrella males are not cuddly at all. Yeah, we can see it here live.
Yeah, they're definitely not cuddly. They're
No.
well, that's the thing too. It's a little off topic, but people often, they decide they want a bird by its color. Oh, I just love the colors of that bird. Can you imagine making that choice based? I love the colors of that snake. It's so bright green. Yeah, African
Really?
vipers are
Oh my.
bright green.
Other light green snakes allowed to? Well, in America probably, yes.
I actually held an African viper once, and I didn't know it at the time. I was I was in I don't know, I was 19 or 20, and a friend of mine had we were just going around and smoking back when it wasn't legal, smoking dope with people. I didn't know any of these people. Just going from house to house, seeing his friends, and so I'm sitting in a chair, and this bright green snake starts coming in front of me, and I'm slithering along the ground. So I put my hand down in front of it, and it came up, stopped, tongue on the hand a bit, got onto my hand, wrapped itself around my arm, because the room was a little chilly. So I figured the snake wanted to warm up, warmed itself on my body, and then it went off. And after that, they said, well, we milked that snake this morning, so you probably would have had to go to the hospital if it bit you, but you might not have died. African
Wait,
viper.
they milked it.
Yeah, they milked the they milked the venom. They sold the venom from the viper.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Well, you would want to milk it anyway because you don't want it to have a full. Because if somebody accidentally step on it, it's going to bite you, and then
Yeah,
you're
no,
gonna die.
I was just kind of baffled because I was like, how do you milk a reptile? But I see.
Oh, if you get it by the back of the neck, you put the fangs over the whatever you're going to dispense it into, and you get it by the back of the neck, and you just squeeze, and then they'll let go. My grandpa used to do that with the rattlesnakes. So he also used to have them for dinner. But yeah, the byword on rattlesnake or any kind of venomous snake is you could eat them, but make sure they haven't bitten themselves. Because if they bite themselves, you don't want to eat their meat. But what they look like isn't so important as their personality. Right? You have a personality? You have a personality in there? You do? Is it a KK personality? Is it? It is a KK? Oh, you're a pretty sweet bird.
It's a very special personality.
KK bird. It says I can see myself. What's that all about? The KK bird. So, just to cover the basics again, they need toys, they need interaction. They need a certain amount of regular interaction. Don't give them a bunch of attention on one day and ignore them the next. It's better to give them less attention and do it every day than it is to do that. Because they have a certain level of expectation. If you went in to get an ice cream cone and they gave it to you every other day, you might not be as happy. Yeah. I paid for an ice cream cone, but they didn't give it to me today. What's that all about? If you have a way to get where you can fly them in the house, that's great. Do that here too. Actually, I could fly them from the main bird room all the way back to the laundry room. Is a long way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a bowling alley.
Yeah.
I bet Lorelai can do it.
Oh yeah, and
Pippa.
Snowball does it, and Pippa can do it. That one doesn't know he can fly. Well, he doesn't know he can. He can fly, but he doesn't know it. I'm convinced. He thinks it's some kind of miraculous magic, how I got here. I don't know how I got here.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing, it's kind of inbuilt.
Let's not get too much into the hammering of the
It's like when
hand.
you watch the little birds in the nest boxes. So where I am is spring right now, and all the blue tits and gray tits have young chicks, and there are some people who have cameras in the nest boxes so you can watch them grow. And just before they fly out the day or so, they get the super flappies and flap and flap and flap. And one magic moment, they find the nest box entrance and flap out and fly.
I get a similar effect whenever I go out the door because I've got some squatters up in the awning. So, second I open the door, I see birds flying away. Well, at least one. Usually, one will stay in the nest and the other one disappears. They try to drag me away so I won't go to the nest like I don't know where it is. I know where it is. There's some house finches. What are you doing? I guess that's why they call them house finches, because they're living in the awning of the house. What are you doing?
Yeah, why not?
Well, you're putting a white powder all over the black shirt. Look at that.
White feather dust. Well, let's ask Mando if he wants to rouse. So we get a little snowstorm.
Oh, man. He turned around. He's actually changed his position. Are you looking at Steve up there or what?
Maybe he seeks inspiration.
Maybe. So it's great if you can do 3 or 4 times a week, just 10 minutes of training, teaching them to step up or, do a high 4 or shake your finger, or there's a whole bunch of behaviors, veterinary behaviors too. Hold their wings out, open their beaks. That kind of interaction is great because it helps you form a relationship with your bird. And the veterinary skills are great when you go to the vet. So the vet doesn't have to throw a towel and terrorize your bird. I've got to towel your bird. No, you don't, because they know about veterinary examinations. Yeah.
And Bob's a good example of that with his cloaca, because if he needs it inspected, then you just flip him right over.
Yeah. Just hand him over like a pizza pie,
That's right, KK.
Oh, that brings up that old joke, and it'll get me in trouble, but I have to do it. So, what do you say when a musician knocks at your door? You say thank you. You pay him, and you take the pizza.
Oh. I was going to say, what do you do when somebody who has a degree in philosophy knocks on your door? But I guess it's the same.
I'm not sure. What would you do?
Because I guess they're also doing deliveries.
Yeah, Monty Python has a skit about that in The Meaning of Life. They hand a menu to this couple, and they have to choose what they're going to discuss. So they end up talking philosophy when they don't know the first thing about it. That was nice. Do you want to whack me on the head again? They might not everybody might have seen that. I see. So you just hauled off and whacked me with that thing on the top of my head. What are you doing? No, you're not going to get the earbud. It's cheap, but you're not going to get it. Silly bird. Hey, Cecil. Well, let's see. There's Matter. He's changed position. Wow, he actually moved. Sugar is sleeping. Foot up.
Yeah, she hasn't
That's a
moved.
new thing, having the foot up. maybe she was testing if that's working when she had her foot up but the foot open, so that she could put it down if she loses balance. But now she got it.
Yeah, because she didn't tend to sit with her foot up much. So
No,
maybe that is it.
maybe she realized she can do it. Yeah, she has a great progress in everything
Mm,
from having basically no balance at all a couple of years before. Look at her now.
yeah.
Yeah, I sent pictures to the lady who has the African gray, showing Sugar when she came to us and what she looks like now. I just now I'll snap a picture of what she looks like today. Yeah.
Mm.
And unfortunately, because her vet was refusing to give her haloperidol, not an actual avian vet, she wasn't sure whether she was going to have, she hates to do it, but she was, if I can't find a solution to this, because it's actually mutilating, right? Going to have to euthanize. And she said, I absolutely don't want to do that. So but she said she will actually drive to Nevada if she can't find a vet that will do it in Arizona. So,
Good for her.
Mm.
but that's a
Birds are still
problem.
misunderstood, and I think it's not common that you learn a lot about them when you study just ordinary veterinary science.
Mm.
No,
What
I've
what I
asked,
can
I've asked, go ahead.
what I can never understand with vets that just flat out refuse to prescribe something is, well, if the bird is mutilating and it's gonna kill itself, like why wouldn't you just try it and see?
Mm.
Well, the answer that she got from the vet was that's old school, which is totally wrong. I mean, this is just hearsay. This is what I was told, but that's just totally wrong.
The
There's nothing
medicine
old
is
about
old,
it. This
but it's old school in humans, maybe, but not in birds.
right. I
It's not
I
like a
don't
lot of
know.
people tried it and it has failed. It's more like nobody knows about it.
Well, that's it. Jenkins was trying. He was the head of the Avian Association for a long time, but he gave it up because of all the politics. He's more interested in helping birds than politics. But he was trying to get the community. He was showing the results, and they weren't paying attention. They just wanted to stick with the old way, which is test because there's a lot of money in testing to see if there's metals in their system and so. But Jenkins didn't find any birds that was the reason they were plucking. And so all that old information, you can see the old information. It's still in the. I don't think they've done an updated volume of the British Small Animal Veterinary Association, citizen birds. So the old information is in there, and the flow chart that basically shows you do this, 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 and this, and this, and then they die. That was the flow chart. Pretty much, the mitigations they had didn't work. So for a vet to say that's old school, I would actually, if a vet said that to me, I'd look at him and go, "Did your parents have any children that lived?" you know, I got a laugh out of KK. It's funny how they know when you tell a joke, right? They react to a joke with a laughter like that. That was good, KK. It shows how smart they are. They can tell by context when it's the right time to chuckle. Bob's sound a little more evil, though. Bob's are like,
Oh, Bob, it's so funny when he has a laugh.
Yeah.
have you
And
noticed he's not
actually,
screaming?
Yep.
yeah, it's best in
Well,
silence.
the trick is to get him out a half hour a day. And I tried 2 different half-hour sessions, but he's okay as long as you take him out a half-hour a day. I don't like that. I would prefer to get him out more, but he's unpredictable when it comes to attacking other birds. When he goes after Lorelei, you got a problem. So, because Lorelai's the one that taught him to preen.
Mm.
Mm.
But yeah, if he's happy with half an hour, then That's what you do if that's what it's telling
It's
you.
awesome when he stopped screaming from that.
Yeah.
Oh, Cecil, going nuts.
The other thing you can say to some of that responded with that is, well, if I prove you wrong, will you give me $10,000? Because I can prove them wrong. It's not old information. I can prove that. So I know the old stuff and I know what's new. So because I tried all the old stuff and it didn't work.
Mm. Yeah, I think the problem there is when that's not an avian vet, then he just has no idea about all the bird science behind, and yeah, just trying to get rid of the topic.
Yeah, they just make it
Ow,
up sometimes.
okay. You need to move. Hold on a second. I gotta move this guy. He's getting too wild up here. Come on. Come on. You start whacking me in the face. I know I have to get you down for a bit. There we go. See? He's gone over to the dark side. You
But
just
it's
got
so
too
cute.
wound up. He is. He just got wound up. You're okay. It's all right. It's all right. Yeah, you're okay. Good boy. Yeah, well, KK, you're always a good, well, most of the time. You have that 1/10 of the time where you try to kill other birds, but you're all right. Yeah, I had to point out that I had videos because the lady I was talking to had never seen our videos on this. So I sent her links. I sent her a link for the one that's just it's for the common folk who want to know what we're doing to help our birds, and then one that's specifically for vets, which I took everything out that I had to say and just made it strictly Dr. Jenkins, because we know once somebody gets that little teasing someone now too, it's that little certificate on the wall. They think they know everything. Well, not all of them, but some of them do. So unless you got that certificate on the wall, a vet won't listen to you. That's not always true. I know a couple of vets that's not true with, but right, Cecil? Well, it's that time, folks. We gotta go. I hope you found the information useful. You can find us on Telegram. It's all at Chloe Sanctuary. You can find us on Discord at Chloe Sanctuary, on Patreon, Chloe Sanctuary. We're not on any of the other government controlled platforms like Instagram or Facebook anymore. So what do you have to
Well,
say?
thanks for
What do you have to
coming,
say about?
everybody.
Thank you, Amy and Eleanor, for your wonderful assistance in moderating, since I can't see what people are saying. And you guys do a great job. So,
Well, everybody is well behaved in the chat. They're a nice bunch.
Indeed.
you want to say goodbye, KK?
Mm.
Say goodbye.
KKK. KK bird.
KK.
KK bird. Yeah, good bird. That's right.